before green. We're set to get the Busch Series back underway after a 6-week, somewhat of a vacation for some teams. The green is waved and David Green for turn 2.
That's definitely infield.
Toward turn 2, that is Shane Hall. One car gets sideways and everybody checks up. Half of them go around and half of them pile in, it seems. Tough spot there, turn 3. Smoke ahead, where do I go? Infield. No, grandstand, infield, grandstand, infield.
White flag comes out for Bobby Hamilton Jr. He's got some cars too wide right in front of Jeff Purvis, the one car. He's right on his bumper. Here comes Martin Truex Jr. on the outside.
What's up, guys? This is PLE, your Mass Explorer, where I take you to anything and everything abandoned. Today, we are in a very famous NASCAR track. And that's the alarm that broke in.
They're in lap traffic. Bobby Hamilton Jr. on the inside. It's a drag race down the backstretch. They come into turn number 3.
We stand here today in this famous NASCAR track that's now abandoned.
Bobby Hamilton Jr. moves to the outside. Here comes Martin Truex Jr. as they come out of 4. And Martin Truex Jr. will take the checkered flag at Nazareth.
Speaking of, let's start right here. This is the start and finish line because of the checkered flag right here. This is where many had their victories, crossing this simple line right here. If you can't see that, that says Nazareth. It's been repainted on time and time again. But look, Nazareth Speedway. So this is one of the bathrooms for the racetrack. So let's check this one out. Wow, it is smashed in here. Not a urinal left or a toilet. There's an empty chair. Speedway collectibles. All right, I found a way in. Empty room. This is where they would store the collectibles for the race. All the NASCAR merchandise and the empty car. I do need to show you this. This pillar right here. That pillar over there. Should be more right there. It's another one. So the grandstands were on top of us. It would be like thousands of people sitting here watching the race. So those, of course, you know, they would hold up the grandstands. With, you know, poles on top, of course. Looks like an office building. Okay, I found an open door. Yeah, this is definitely an office building. Copper machine turned upside down. Look at that computer. KDS. cubicles. Nazareth Speedway. Paper over the floor. Hallway. This looks like, I guess a ticket booth as well. For one entranceway, I'm guessing. I know there's another one. But that looks like definitely one for sure. It doesn't tell you. Oh, look. That's cool. There were many more buildings here, but only these few survived. Like this one here. It's like a NASCAR apocalypse. This would be another collectibles. There's a way in there, but it's the same thing as the other one. A little bit smaller. Oh, wow. Look how outdated this is. It's crazy, even these big sinks. Those own little like doors. Look like they had swing doors here. And these things are not that tall. 4 feet. Look at the roof. Wash your hands. Wash your. One thing hasn't changed. Nope. Okay, this would be where you got your concession, the concession stand. Your drinks, your beer. Of course, you would get your probably your hamburgers, hot dogs, whatever else they had in the menu. These fryer vats here, give it away. And yet, when you can't get enough bathrooms, you have another one. Oh, this one's way more cooler. Untouched, sort of. Wow. This is insane. Of course, that's the way out. Look, leftover toilet paper. Noise that everything makes. Makes you feel like someone's actually here. Another gift shop. Looks like it had a little bit of a fire, maybe. Yeah, it looks like it was. And then look at this one. The Food Works concession. Still got the, I forgot what they called it, the awnings. Oh, this is insane. So it's another concession. Beer, food, sodas. This is cool. I'm not entirely sure what this is about. That can't be the start and finish line. Must be like a mid-halfway point. This wall, so many cars had actually banged into and scuffled. Here's one that turns right here. This is cool. Like, I've never been to a NASCAR race. Now, I'll explain everything in a few. Now, as we walk around this racetrack to look for more things, I'm going to come at you. I'm going to give you guys some history. So the Nazareth Speedway started as a horse racing track in the 1850s. Very popular at the time. Known as the Northampton County Agricultural Fairgrounds. Crowds grew so big, they had to change locations. So the horse race track wasn't in this location with the track itself as it is right now. It's actually on the outskirts around the 1900s. A new half-mile track, dirt track that is, was built right here on this part of the land. Now, if you can't tell, there's actually a bit of forest here, and the reason being because they poured dirt onto the track to make sure nobody breaks in and starts racing in this track. And over time, since its closure in 2004, it's grew tons of trees. This site introduced motor racing in like 1910. And then it was a weird one. It was known as auto racing polo, which is like horse polo, but it's done by vehicles, which are little carts that would drive the track and try to knock the ball and whatnot. Don't know how successful that was, but that's what it was. It was called Motor Polo. In 1986, Roger Penske, yes, this Penske, he bought the property and he paved this track so it can introduce more speed racing, which in turn, the track reopened in 1987, introducing NASCAR. Being an old NASCAR fan myself, yes, I once was in my early teens. It was really cool. My favorites was the Hendricks team. Of course, this is the back then, Winston Cup, when they could advertise cigarettes. My favorites was number 24, DuPont, Mr. Jeff Gordon, as well as number 5, Kellogg's, Terry Labonte. I remember those names like it's nothing. Unfortunately, I don't believe they actually raced here. This was only IndyCar, which is the famous Mario and Michael Andretti. They've raced and won here. You've also have others like Dale Earnhardt Jr. He raced here. And all other big acts or other well-known drivers from the late 1980s, 1990s, and early 2000s, which I'll get into the winners from this track. Its last race and closure being 2004. The track never reopened for reasons. I want to say for multiple reasons. It was due to the owners didn't feel like it was good enough to keep open, or financial reasons. And NASCAR was at the time concentrating on bigger, wider, and more faster tracks. So they never re-sponsored this track back. NASCAR was known as a sport, believe it or not. I've had many arguments about this with people back in the day. It's not a sport. It's not like basketball or soccer or football. Well, it's a sport. And at that, it can be a very dangerous sport. So we are in the middle of somewhere here. So we need to go that way. So we are coming up on what is known as the infield to the track, which is the middle of the racetrack itself. We are coming up on the largest building on the complex here. And I'm a little intimidated because I'm by myself. And this is a lot of acreage here with this almost mile-long track. And what we're coming up on is the media center, where the announcers and the commentators for the race would sit down and watch the race, as well as team members would stand on top of the whole complex in the very top, just to let the crew chief know what's going on and what to tell the driver himself, because they were in constant communication while driving and letting them know what they ranked, where they were, how they can overtake someone else. So we are about to see that right now. So excited, guys. This one means a lot to me. I've been wanting to do this for so long. And being a NASCAR fan, even if it wasn't the Winston Cup, it was the Busch race, this one means a lot to me. I'm so excited to be here, guys. I'm like a little kid at a candy shop. Like I feel like I'm 14 again, where I'm just going to see a race happening today. Huge building, by the way. We're going to see if we can get inside. Yeah, we can get inside. See, right there. This is the infield. We are in the middle of the track. Okay, we're about to go in now. Staircase. Oh, it's locked. I have to go through the other way. I've seen him before somewhere. Let me know what video you think that's from. Okay, so this is where you would come. See out the windows. And I'm guessing right here is where the announcers would be to watch the race. Had to been. Went for the brush there, you could see across. You can see all the way across and watch the whole race. So I'm standing where some of the best older veterans of NASCAR and Busch Series and or IndyCar race would sit here and do their whole, what, hour and a half to 4 hours of commentary. You may think it's cars going in a circle, there's nothing to it, but there was more to it. There was definitely more to it. And I enjoyed every moment of it. If it was a good race. Everybody, you weren't a true NASCAR fan. You didn't want anybody hurt, but you weren't a true NASCAR fan if you didn't want to see a wreck. You're just always hoping for it, but you don't want to see anybody hurt. It was a thrill of it. Okay. So yeah, I guess news reporters, sports reporters that is, news photography, photographers would stand here and watch out there, take pictures and stuff, and watch. Let me go up here real fast. This floor is a little hollow. Oh, this is so cool. Look at that. They even got for your computers and your plug outlets. Okay, let's go upstairs since we're already here. This is crazy. If you look down right here, that's the pits. That's where the drivers would go. They would pick their little spot that they were working on. The crew would stand on this side of the concrete, jump over, change wheels, fuel up, you know, wash your window, whatever they could do. You had to be done by seconds, and they timed you. That's cool. So during the race, they would come in here for their pit stops. Some actually have enclosed buildings for them to put their cars in and stuff, but this one was kind of somewhat of a smaller track, so they worked with what they could work with. But this is where, I guess the crew chief, I'm guessing, would actually stand up here and watch the race and would communicate back to the driver of what to do, what turns coming up, what speeds to go, how, you know, what's going on with other drivers, whatever else. This is insane. And another thing we're going to go see is this right here. Our flagpole, that's the winning circle. The winning driver pulls in to there and they announce his victory with whatever advertisers he was with to give him a check, you know, whatever else for the victory. So we're going to see that. And we're going to go see this building here too. You can't really see it, but that's the infield hospital in case someone did get hurt. If any driver ever got hurt here, that's where they would go, is that inpatient place. And I'm guessing anybody seeing the race, civilians, would come and see the race and they get hurt on a grandstand or something, they would go there. I'm pretty sure you wouldn't deny them care. Oh, look. Checkered floor like it's a start and finish line. Oh, it's so cool. Look, an open elevator. Must have been the front desk area. I have no idea what this is. Ooh. Thank God. No one's actually in there. Must have been mail slots. I wonder how old that one is. Gatorade. Look. Popcorn bucket, but it's got like a tools, shovels, and a race car. Wet paint. How cool is that? Oh, no way. NASCAR Busch Series, Grand National Division. And look, even suiting. Marlboro, Team Penske. I do really like that though. That's so cool. Look out for sinkholes. Someone really enjoyed the 4th of July with a firework. Now that would make my 4th of July right here, doing it right there, in the middle of all this. How freaking cool. So we're gonna go into the infield hospital. Papers everywhere, again. Place is trashed. Wow, it's gutted. And that's a mattress, you know, for the inpatient, whatever. One of those hospital trays that you would open up. Things are inside. Oh, look. The curtains. Give me 20 cc's. Stat! There should be, yep, what's fainted lines here. And you guys probably already guessed it. Being next to the infield care, there's a sign. Infield Care Center. Right here, a smaller circle with the H. It's a helicopter pad. In case an accident or an injury was very, very crucial, they would have to helicopter them, however you would say that. They have to take the helicopter into a hospital around the nearest one. Because, you know, this is a dangerous sport. You get into a slight accident that can cause a concussion. That's all you would need. I still can't believe I'm here. That was another thing, the reason why this track was closed. It was about 30 minutes from here is the Pocono Raceway. So that over dominated this. So crowds rather go there than to come here. But this is the first asymmetrical, I think asymmetrical, track with a D shape, kind of a D shape, with what looks like 3 turns, but honestly 6 or 7 turns. It's been argued. 1, 2, 3, 4. It goes on to all across there. So somewhere here is a tunnel, and I believe it's this way. Let's go check this bad boy out first. Let's actually go to pit lane, or pit road they call it. Like Dale Earnhardt Jr. had popped up somewhere here before doing a race. How cool is that? Too bad Jeff Gordon wasn't here. I don't think he was. And this is where they would come off of to go back on the track and zoom around and continue. Not that fast though, but they were fast. How cool is this? Checkered. Look, for the sponsors and the crew chiefs and the wife and the kids would have stood for the race. Well, for the one who won the race. And he would stand here. I'm guessing these would be where you put the advertisements for, you know, DuPont, Kellogg's, you know, Craftsman, whatever was sponsoring and won. Or for the truck itself, you put a big banner up here and that would crank it. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. That would crank it. How cool is that? So many winners would pull up here and celebrate their victory, their win. I am standing here where one of the locals, Mario Andretti, he would have stood here and celebrated his victory. Mario Andretti, Michael Andretti, Rick Mast, Todd Bodine, Ricky Craven, Randy LaJoy, Elliott Sadler, Michael Kinseth, Ron Hornaday, Craig Biffle. And the last race that was done here, the last victory by the now Xfinity Series, previously the Busch Series, winner Martin Truex, I think I said it right, Martin Truex Jr. Martin had won the last race here, and then the track had closed. But these are where those people I just mentioned will stand right here. This is amazing. Of course, I didn't follow NASCAR in the early 2000s. From 96, 97 to maybe 2000, I followed it. And this was one of my places to go. I wanted to go because it was, you know, but never made it. Guess I just didn't care. I just rather watched it on TV. But this is so awesome. This is important. Look, I may be far from my victory, but this just shows me I'm near. This shows me I'm on a path. This is incredible. I'm blown away. I am blown away. I never thought I would be here. Now I need to find that tunnel to where they would allow the drivers to actually come in here and to circle in here to park, get ready for the race, and then do their race. So I need to find that tunnel. I think it's right here. Let's check. Bingo. I see it right in front of me. One of the coolest features, it says it's been abandoned. Your famous drivers would drive right through this tunnel with their stock cars. Well, probably not their stock cars itself, but on trailers, of course. Look at this ginormous tunnel. Of course, as I talk, it echoes. This is beyond amazing. I'm like really taking this in today too. It's been on my list, and this is, I just can't believe I'm doing this. NASCAR. Me being a fan of NASCAR back in the day. Dude, my younger self would flip the out right now. I swear it would. First did NASCAR, then known as the Busch Series, Craftsman Truck Series, which I wasn't really big on, but I had nothing else to do. I would watch a truck race or two. They weren't that fun though. It had to be Winston Cup, but you know, on a Saturday it'd be Winston Cup, and then on a Sunday it would be Busch Series, or I think it was reversed. Yeah, it was reversed. It was Saturdays the Busch Series, and Sundays was the biggest race, which was the Winston Cup, now known as the Sprint. Might have changed names again, but I do remember it was once Sprint. The Busch Series is now known as Xfinity because they don't want to really advertise beer as the main thing, nor cigarettes anymore. Big tobacco hasn't been really pushed since the 90s with advertisements. I was a little nervous about that huge building there. The news center, I guess. Media center. Helicopters flying around here. There must be an airport. I still got a few more things to see. And a few more things I want to show you guys as well. So let's do that. Look how wicked this tree is in the middle of the track. Well, not in the middle, but on the side of the track. The last person to actually buy the property, the track, and the surrounding area of the track, we bought it for real estate. More houses, more homes here. And part of the clause in buying the track is to never reopen it. I feel like the townsfolk here of Nazareth, they didn't like the sound once a week of motor vehicles racing, you know? Some people in the township didn't care for the noise. I feel like they should reopen it, honestly. Keep it a track. Wouldn't be a popular sponsored track by NASCAR, of course. I think that ship has sailed. It should be reopened as a local track. Gives kids and family something to do, you know? So while I talk and all, I'm gonna have a nice mile-long walk all the way around the track. Hey, you live once. I'm enjoying this. Again, they put dirt down, and I'm guessing dug up the earth, the track there. Can't see where they did, just to keep people from actually racing on it. Of course, you know, rebels, you know, you would have to. It was once a popular track. So if you can tell the story that, hey, I once unofficially drove my car on here, or whatever I had, and raced here, hey, why not? Worth the risk. Spotted one. Can't see it with all the foliage, but it says Nazareth. Nazareth Speedway. Can't really see a lot of it. You know what else I've noticed? There seems to be a lot of nails here. I guess it's done on purpose. So if we did race over here, it'd be bad for your tires. I've noticed that across the whole track. Look at that, another one. Another Firestone Firehawk. That's even better than the last one. It was something else. Safety, clean. Here's another one I came across. It's even better. Firestone Firehawk. It's probably a brand of their tires, but yeah, there's Firestone. Firehawk. And here's a little STP sign. Every time I see STP like that, I think of Richard Petty, one of the most famous NASCAR drivers of all time. And there's a plant right there causing all that noise. EA Sports, or a lot of PlayStation games. You actually race on the NAZARETH Speedway through those games, like it was. I still can't believe we did this. I still can't believe we're in Victory Lane, right here. This is where people actually made race history, NASCAR history. This is amazing. I feel privileged I actually came here. I feel a part of it. And NASCAR was my thing, my sport back in the day. God. Thank you for exploring with me. Like always, it's PLE, and I'll catch you on the flip.